Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So this is the first video I am making after the 2018 midterm elections, and we're going to go through the results from my prediction compared to the actual results in the 2018 midterms. I don't know if all of the races are finalized. I know Arizona is still out, and Florida has not been called by CNN, but it has been called by other news networks. A number of these races are a little bit closer, especially in some of the governor elections, so those may not be as finalized or may not have the same outcome as we're seeing tonight, but we're going to go through my prediction compared to the actual results. And something straight off the bat that screams out from my prediction personally is that the Democrats definitely were overestimated in terms of my prediction, and I acknowledge that. I'm not saying, I never said at any point that my prediction would be 100% correct. I'm just not psychic. So the argument that I'm somehow always wrong because I was off by Indiana or off by Florida, that really doesn't stand. I do not like being personally attacked for being off about two states as the results stand today. Considering that not many other political pundits got it right either. There weren't that many that really expected these margins, that really expected this type of turnout amongst Republicans, and then looking at the House amongst Democrats and the governorships amongst Democrats. A number of House races as well were also a little bit more contested, weren't even key races, but went for the Democratic Party, whereas most of those key races actually remained in the GOP column. Unfortunately for the Democratic Party, the Senate did not turn out their way. It's likely going to end up 54-46, whereas in my prediction it was 49-51. Obviously, the advantage with the GOP both times, so I did get the Senate majority right. Just the numbers really boiled down to who's winning what. So, straight off the bat, what we're looking at, North Dakota, likely state. So, the margin I said would be around 9%. In fact, the margin was around 11%. On the final results this is from CNN Politics. The Republicans currently have 51, 52 on the Fox News map because Florida is in the GOP column. That was when Scott led by 0.7%, and now he leads by 0.2%, so it is narrowing up. Possibly Nelson could win. We don't know, but as it stands today, my prediction would be incorrect in terms of who was the projected winner. But Tennessee was projected correctly, just the margin was not a little bit off, 10% off. Missouri was expected to go to Josh Hawley in the tilt column, but then it is in the lean column in this video. Indiana went to Mike Braun. This is the state that I predicted Joe Donnelly would win in. That was incorrect. Mike Braun won with 51.4% of the vote. That was very surprising to me. But I expected John Tester to win, and he did indeed win. North Dakota, I expected Kevin Kramer to win. Texas, I said Ted Cruz would win in, and Ted Cruz did win in that state. Arizona, Kirsten Sinema currently leading by 0.5% at this point. But again, anything can change. That's why this race has not been called. But right now, I guess my prediction could be deemed correct based off the current results. Nevada has flipped from Republican to Democrat. I keep saying this. Nevada, for some reason, consistently represents Democrats in polling data compared to every other state, which oversamples Democrats. It's just something about the state of Nevada. This is also with the governor elections, which we'll see in a moment. Nevada also went to the Democrats there, so it's very surprising. California, Washington, Hawaii all went to the Democratic Party, so pretty much every prediction as it stands today was right, except for Florida and Indiana. So for me personally, I think that's pretty good in terms of a prediction. I was off by 2. So actually, technically, I would have to be off by 3, but so Missouri, Indiana, I was incorrect about. No, so it is possible, actually, that it's 53-47 rather than 54-46 because Arizona, I was counting on Arizona going to the GOP at this point, now leading for the Democratic Party, which means it doesn't necessarily have to go to the GOP. So actually, yeah, so I was only off by 2. Indiana and the state of Florida. Missouri I got correct. North Dakota I got correct. And I'm not just here to gloat or whatever you think I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to show that a lot of people are saying that my prediction was 100% wrong or mostly wrong, and that's just not the case. I really want to go through elections that I've been covering for a year and a half and just go through my final prediction and what exactly were the final results. So, the governorships. So that's actually pretty interesting. We're going to go ahead and take a look. Actually, I haven't loaded it up, so I'm going to mute my screen so you guys don't have to hear me double. But let's go ahead and skip to the end and see exactly where I put the governor elections. Let's see if we have margins. Here we go. 25 Republicans, 25 Democrats. So again, overestimating the Democratic Party, but only narrowly. So we're going to actually go ahead and take a look at 26 Republicans. Let's see where I gave them the victory. So they had the win in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, I believe was incorrect. Ohio and Iowa, those 3 states were incorrect at this point. I think those may have been the only 3 states that were incorrect. South Dakota, I said, would be close. Kansas actually was incorrect, but in favor of the Democratic Party. I said the GOP would win in the state of Kansas. That was an incorrect statement. Right now, Kansas actually went to Kelly over Kobach. Greg Gorman taking 6.5% away, likely from the GOP, which definitely did not help their case there. But that one went to the Democratic Party. Pickup for the Democrats. As for Iowa, that one was a hold for Kim Reynolds, but very narrowly, so that one wasn't necessarily too off. Ohio was also pretty narrow. Mike DeWine won by less than 5%, so also in the lean column. In the state of Florida, a 0.4% margin for Ron DeSantis, with 49.6% to 49.2%. Gillum conceded. Ron DeSantis is the winner. Georgia I expected to go to Brian Kemp, but we don't know the results there yet. Connecticut I said would go to the Democrats. Maryland I said would go to the GOP, along with Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Maine I said would go to the Democratic Party. Minnesota I said would go to the Democratic Party. Wisconsin as well I said would go to the Democrats, along with Michigan and Pennsylvania. So those states I'm pretty happy that they all went the way that I predicted them, along with Illinois. That one did not branch out of the safe margin. No, it barely did, just barely. The state of Nevada was a flip for the Democratic Party. Like I said, polling data sometimes underestimates Democrats in the state of Nevada for whatever reason, and it's shown here. Sisolak was never supposed to win based off the recent polls. Adam Laxalt consistently led. Also, Dean Heller led by 3, by 2, and then a tie. But Jackie Rosen ended up winning by around 4%, and Steve Sisolak is winning by around 4.1%. Actually, I think Jackie Rosen expanded that lead, so it might have been 50%. Oregon went to Kate Brown. That I also said would go into our column, because if we're looking at the numbers, Nevada was a little bit more in favor of the Democrats than I expected. Colorado, New Mexico, about the same. Arizona was a swing state in the Senate election, but a safe state in the governor election, like I said, along with Texas. For some reason, Arizona went more for the Republicans than Texas, for whatever reason. Oklahoma was not too close. It was a 12-point margin. Georgia, again, another key race. South Carolina did not surprise me. I thought this race would be closer, but I put it in the safe column because I didn't think anyone my reasoning was there, but I really was not comfortable enough moving into the likely column. But Henry McMaster did not do too well. It's probably because Smith did pretty well against him in the debate. McMaster, again, having a contested GOP primary, really all boils down to popularity and where these Republican voters are coming from, considering it's a Republican state. It's not like these are independents all of a sudden shifting their views. It's more of, this is a Republican state where a Republican's going to vote. So, same thing in the state of Maryland, like Democrats voting for Larry Hogan. Looking at the overall map, Alaska went to the GOP. That was the only pickup for them from independent to GOP. Mark Begich did not do as well as the polling data suggested. It was supposed to be a 1 to 2 point race, not nearing 10%. But also keep in mind, Mark Begich is a Democrat going for a Republican seat. Sorry, not a Republican seat, in a Republican state. Mark Begich's time, he actually did pretty well in 2014, but that was as a senator. Governor may have been a little bit different. The House race was also pretty contested from Alaska, but we will get to that in a separate video. So South Dakota went to Kristi Noem very narrowly over Billy Sutton. Alabama was a little bit closer than I expected, even though it was around a 20-point margin. I expected it to maybe be in the 60s. I mean, if we're looking at what Charlie Baker got, larger lead for the GOP than in Alabama, in Massachusetts and Alabama. Arkansas did not surprise me at all. Oklahoma, I already mentioned that. Nebraska was a little bit closer in the beginning, not so much near the end. Wyoming, of course, going for the GOP. So Florida right now has been called, but I think they may retract the call if Gillum is able to get 0.2% more. If Rick Scott, goes down 0.2% more and Bill Nelson takes the lead in Florida, they might retract the call from the governor's race because there could be outstanding votes that could show Gillum win. But if they're comfortable calling this, it just seems like it may be impossible for Bill Nelson to win at this point. Looking at the state of Wisconsin, Scott Walker going for a third term and then losing. Remember, Tony Evers jumped in the lead as soon as the Democratic Party found more votes that were in their favor. Looking around, Tennessee was expected to go to the GOP, so compared to my prediction, I was off by the state of Ohio, Iowa, and Kansas, I believe, and Florida. So 4 states I was currently incorrect on. Georgia we're not too sure of at this point in time, but other than those states, those were the only ones that I think were truly just not all together. So there's only one state left, and that is the state of Georgia, and we'll see how it actually goes. But the Democratic Party definitely gained seats, like I said. It just may not be a tie, so the Republicans will retain the majority in the NGA, but still a lot closer than it really would have been. But what surprised me is that Kansas went to the Democrats, but again, that's all up to the state itself. Again, no real say in it. And then 46 Democrats that could possibly could be 47 by the end of the day, and then maybe, if some miracle happens for the Democrats, Mississippi special election, but that's not expected. But overall, my map may have been incorrect in the Senate by 2 seats and 4 seats in the governorships, but I overall think that my prediction wasn't necessarily too wrong, if you get what I'm saying. I did not do a house prediction recently, but I did do one about a month ago, so I will go through that in a video tomorrow. But this one was just covering the results now, considering that the elections are around 2 days away. Sorry, were 2 days ago. So I just wanted to cover and touch base with my results and then my prediction itself. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I will see you all tomorrow.